Eunice Bunis is no friend of mine. That came clearer this morning at the sink, me splashing cold water over my face to wake up. It came clear enough. You should go with your toes pointed forward, not sidling along through the world pigeon-toed. The way you walk says a lot about you. No surprise then the way Eunice walks, right forward. Your shoes are the space for your feet. Eunice has shoes where her toes are always doing useful assertiveness, even when we're just the two of us sitting at night with our feet up. I can see how the leather humps and subsides in the firelight. You want to keep noticing things, how they work constantly to say what they are. When you're lucky, you discover just the minute they fall into their meaning. Those are the times when one meaning and another, the whole world gets put together for you into a space, so you can move forward in usefully. That's what I mean about old Bunis. When I caught on to her this AM, it was me not pigeon-toed for a change, but moving forward in a sensible shoe. I was as Eunice for that minute. Other times, like last week, walking home, this jogger shot past in his silent Adidas, and I saw how the balls of his feet went, touching the world lightly here and then there, so as not to spoil a thing he left behind. He ran through that puddle without lifting a drop. I was watching. And when I came along after, there lay the sky, still, uninterrupted, the silver clearly reflecting. Well, if you were to tell Eunice those moments had been part of your day, while she wouldn't actually say anything, she'd do something. Just some little thing to make up for lost time, like slosh the last swallow of beer around in her glass, or run out her finger to firm up the line of her mouth, you know, like that, or narrow her eyes into the fire. She doesn't notice she does this. She does do a number of fine deeds, takes them up one after another along her path, and turns them into projects, thus making her life sublime as a reminder. I can see how formerly that might have been possible, but nowadays, footprints in the sands of time, what on earth does that mean? How is it useful, taking even the short view? And yet, as soon as Eunice begins reconstructing her day, I begin to feel pigeon-toed again. I think of names for my jogger. Will he run before me ever again? And I can feel how my toes begin to curl slantwise in their socks, dying of shame, hoping no attention will be wasted on them. I feel drawn into sympathy with the whole of me, because that slanting comes from farther up, I know that much, where the knee and the hip now habitually swerve because of unforgettable twistings of muscle and nerve along back to where the eyes are watching out for the world. As for Eunice's eyes, they go straight forward, always. She doesn't peer, I do that. No sidelong glances just in case. She opens her eyes and or closes them, period. So does her mouth forth say certain terms. A spade is a spade, and a tooth for a tooth. But this chills me, I've noticed, even in my hot shame. It's too clear. I try to love Eunice morning and night, like those times with our feet up together. But I can see how she's not necessarily my best friend.